have a nice yin to yin that I've been working on. So we'll kind of do that. I'm sitting on a blanket today because I'm cold. So if you wanted to do that, otherwise we'll go ahead and get started. So find your way to your seat. Let your hands maybe rest in your lap or on your legs. And we'll just take a few moments here to feel rooted into your mat, to feel very grounded. Taking a few rounds of breath. Feeling how it feels to just sit here and breathe. No expectations of what's going to happen on your mat. No attachment to anything that came before now. Taking 3 more rounds of breath here. On this last exhale here, go ahead and tuck your chin in towards your collarbone. Let there be length from the back of your neck, from the base of the skull, all the way to the base of the spine, all the way down. Next, inhale, rock left ear, left shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. Inhale, right ear, right shoulder. Exhale, chin to chest. And just move in that pattern. Inhaling, ear to shoulder. Exhaling, chin to chest. Becoming fully immersed in the pattern of breath with movement. We'll take 1 more each side. And then we'll go ahead and let the head be heavy, chin to chest. Wrap your arms around behind you, interlace the fingers behind you, and then bring the thumb side of the hands to your lower back, just above the sacrum. And then squeeze the elbows open. So that creates a little bit of a heart opening effect. And then from there, go ahead and start to lift the chin, keeping the elbows squeezing behind you. You should have plenty of space because the hands are as high up the back as you need to squeeze those shoulders together, and then start to lift. Maybe dropping the head back, opening the chin, lifting the heart. It's Heart Health Month. We'll do a little bit of heart opening today. Nice. And then go ahead and release the hands, sweep them around in front, and then just crossing right arm under left. Bring your fingers to your shoulders and tuck the chin. So just releasing that stretch that we did on the outer biceps. Beautiful. Wrap the arms around behind you. Again, this time when you interlace the fingers, interlace them so that the opposite hand is on top. So it'll feel really weird when you do it. And then again, bring the hands as high up on the back as you need to open the shoulders. Squeeze the elbows together. Lift the heart. So when you apply the pressure in the hands to the lower back. You're going to want to arch the back. So keep the core engaged. Try to keep from arching the back and splaying the ribs, trying to find that lift. And then go ahead and release, and then sweep the, I think it's left arm underneath the right. Yeah, left arm underneath the right to go the opposite way. Just take that nice little modified eagle arms is what that actually is. Perfect. And then go ahead and release the hands. We're going to take a forward fold before we go anywhere. Like I mentioned before, I'm up on a blanket and my hips are kind of, my pelvic bowl is tilting forward because I'm just on the edge of that blanket. Extend the feet out nice and long. So you can do this flat on the floor if you have the space, or if you want the extra support of the blanket or a block, you can sit up on that. And then from here, flex the toes back to your face and then point them away. Flex them back and point, point and flex. Just taking a few, working through the ankles. On this next one, hold the toes back towards your nose, zip up and engage through the front of the legs, and then use your hands next to you to find length in your spine. And from here, we're going to fold forward. So start to fold down towards the calf muscles or even nose to toes, if that's a good visual for you. And let the hands be by your side here. So if you're on a block or a blanket, you're kind of scooped a little bit forward, keeping a flat back here. We're going to hold this for a full 60 seconds. So let yourself be super heavy here. When we do these yin shapes, they're very active. So yin is different than restorative in that it's an active stretch. So if we were doing this restorative, we would relax the legs, we would relax all the muscles, and everything would just melt down. But as a yin shape, we're continuing to try to push against the edge. So as we find that we get a little comfortable, then you just take it a little deeper. So tuning in with those inhales. We have about 15 seconds left in this shape here. Beautiful. Using your hands to help you, coming all the way back up, bend the knees, place the feet on the mat, and then you can use your hands to support you. We're just going to windshield wiper a little to the left and to the right. And then we're going to sweep it around and make your way all the way down onto your mat, onto your belly. So it doesn't matter how you get there. So that was a forward fold, and now we're going to counterpose that with a back bend, a heart opener, walking your hands out the width of your mat, probably a little bit wider up by the corners, and then placing either the palms down or the fingers down. Start to press into the mat with your hands and lift just your shoulders and your heart up off the mat. So the ribs are still glued down, your belly is still glued down, and you're just applying a little bit of pressure to open up the heart here. You can actually, if it feels better, you can walk the hands back, or you can keep them out nice and long. And just like with that forward fold, as you become settled into it, you're going to push a little bit deeper into that stretch until eventually, maybe you're just resting on the floating ribs. Maybe you're just resting on the pelvic bowl, starting to walk the hands in a little bit more, finding a little bit more depth. So So the challenge is to find the back bend while being able to breathe. Just about another 10 seconds here. Beautiful. Walk the hands underneath the shoulders, curl the toes under, and sit up and back into your tabletop shape. So knees walk underneath the hips, hands are underneath the shoulders. Take a few rounds of cat and cow, articulating. Maybe turning this into a little tail wag, a little shoulder to hip, if that feels good. Cat and cow. Nice. Let's go ahead and curl the toes under. Find your way to your first downward facing dog. So fingers are nice and wide, about shoulder width, tailbone up and back, and then pedal out the feet. So maybe pressing left heel towards the mat, bending right knee. Press right heel towards the mat, bend left knee. Right, left. Whatever feels good. If it feels really good to find stillness, you can do that. Maybe pushing the heels down towards the mat. Or if you're finding tenderness, you'll bend the knees and push the hips back, come up onto the toes. And then next inhale, look up towards the hands. We're going to take about 5 or 6 teeny tiny steps to bring those toes behind the wrists at about a fist distance between the feet. So just underneath your hips. Grab opposite elbows and melt down. Finding your way to Utkatasana, forward fold. Sorry, Uttanasana, not Utkatasana. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows and rocking a little side to side if that feels good. Fingertips come to the mat. Find a flat back here. So zip up the legs, push the tailbone back, crown of the head reaches towards the wall in front of you. And then on your exhale, you're going to plant the fingers and step back with the left foot. Find your way all the way down to a low lunge. Bring both hands to the right knee. I'm going to interlace my fingers and let myself sink down into this shape. You can release the back toe if that feels better. You can put your knee on a blanket if that feels good. Keep squaring off your hips. That left hip is going to want to slide back. That right hip is going to want to slide forward. And then just think about starting to lift the heart up. So almost leaning back a little bit as you're pushing the hips down forward. On your next exhale, sitting back and straightening the front leg, I'm just going to slide my hands down the shin to my ankle. But if it feels better or more secure for you, you can put your hands on either side of that right leg. Nice half split here. Toes peel off the mat. Coming forward into that low lunge, plant the right foot. This time, let's reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. Straight up, lift up, find length. Nice. Exhale, hands come down. Find your way back to that split, that half split. Peel the toes, melt down over the legs. This time your nose is aiming towards the pinky toe. So there's a little bit of a twist, which is going to deepen that stretch. And then last time we're adding on here, right foot comes down, inhale all the way up into cactus arms, elbows even with the shoulders, open up the heart and sink the hips low like we did on that very first round. Nice. Exhale. If you want to work on balance, you're going to bring the hands around behind you, interlace the fingers as you straighten the leg and hinge. If that's too much of a balance challenge for you today, just bring the fingertips to the mat. Neither one is incorrect. It's just different. Take what you need, leave the rest. Nice. And then go ahead and release the hands. We're going to bring them to the mat, step forward into a nice forward fold, grab opposite elbows, drop the head, sway a little side to side. And then we're going to use the hands to roll all the way up. Nice round spine, chin is tucked all the way up. Inhale, hands overhead, look up, draw hands to heart center. Take a moment here, find that length, zip up the belly, relax your shoulders. Inhale, reach all the way up, press palms together, fold straight back down. We're going to the other side, same thing. Right foot steps way back, right knee comes back, hands come to the left knee. First, we find the depth through those hips, sinking low. Taking your time, enjoying the stretch. Now you kind of know where we're going. We're going to find our way to that half split. Straighten the left leg, and then I just slide my hand down, peel the toes. You can bring your hands to the mat if that feels better. On this first one, your nose is aiming at the floor, directly underneath your face. So that leg is kind of sticking out to the left-ish a little bit. Inhale, plant the left foot, reach the arms up overhead. Nice low lunge. Take that half split. This time the nose is aiming towards the toe, towards the pinky toe. Little bitty twist. So if you didn't feel the back of that leg before, you will now. Inhale, find your way back. Open arms this time, cactus arms, open the heart. Hips nice and low, heart opens. There's a back bend here. And then go ahead and sweep the arms around behind, interlace the fingers, straighten the leg, peel the toes, do your best to find the balance here as you hinge. Ooh. Nice. Both hands come down either side of that front foot. Peel the right knee off the mat. Step forward into that nice forward fold. Bring the right knuckles to the mat. I like to make a fist here. Place the hand right underneath the nose, bend the right knee, and sweep the left arm up and open. So you can come up onto the fingertips or on a block if you need more space, but I like to kind of do this Wonder Woman hand fist thing here because it gives a little bit of leverage. So you can peel open a little bit bigger. And then bending the left knee, bring the left fist to the mat, sweep the right arm up. Beautiful. Both hands come down either side of the feet, melt down between the legs. And then root to rise, sweep all the way up. Press palms together at the top, hands to heart center. Take a moment. We'll take 2 breaths here to center. Reset. Take whatever it is that comes next. Sweep the arms nice and wide, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Right leg is going to step back into a warrior 1. Plant that foot down, 45-degree angle. Left knee bends. Reach the arm all the way up. So because we're working on this heart opening, you have options. You can bring the elbows even with the shoulders and open the heart. If you want a little bit more, you're going to interlace the hands behind you and find that heart opener. Whichever one. And then on your exhale, hinge from the hips, straighten the left leg, and bring your fingertips either to the shins or to either side of that front foot. So it's exactly like what we did on our knees, only the foot is planted on the mat, back foot is planted, and you're melting down over the front leg. So this is a pyramid pose. Inhale, find a half lift. We're going to bend into that left leg. Hands come forward of the foot and then float the back foot off the mat. So coming to a supported warrior 3 is perfect. Or you can start to lift that foot up towards the sky, finding your way towards a standing split. And keep both hands firmly rooted on the mat, or if you want to practice a little bit of balance, you can look at your big toe and slide your hands to your ankle. Fingertips come to the mat if they're not already. Bend that right knee, step the right foot down, melt down over the legs, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, sweep all the way up. Nice and stretchy today. Exhale, hands to heart center. 2 breaths, reset, center. Let go what we did. Don't worry about what's to come. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, half lift. Left foot's going to step way back into that warrior 1. Reach the arms all the way up. Inhale first, and then maybe open up, find that big heart opener, or maybe interlacing the fingers behind you. Perhaps sinking a little lower, trying to get that thigh parallel with the mat. Exhale, straighten the right leg. Hands come either to the shins or the mat, and take a nice forward fold. Nice pyramid shape. So the back hip will try to open up. You want to keep your hips square, which means sliding the right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale, half lift. Start to come up onto the back toes, bend slightly into the right foot, into the right knee. Fingers either come underneath the shoulders for a supported warrior 3, or if you want to play around, you can keep floating the left toes up towards the ceiling. Wrapping your hands around the right ankle. Taking the balance. Bend the left knee, fingertips come to the mat. Step the left foot next to the right. I'm about hip width. And then maybe bump the legs a little side to side. Find a little fidget here. Inhale, half lift. We're going to heel toe the feet together if they're not already. Big toes touching, space between the heels. Take a look at your feet. Make sure that the pinky toe or the blade side of your foot is parallel to the long edges of the mat. And from here, we're going to sit the hips back and down and then rock back into your heels. Hands come to heart center. So easing your way into our chair pose. And then just like before, we're going to start to lift the heart and open it up. Keep your hands at heart center for this first one. Draw the tailbone underneath you, not tucking it, but just drawing it underneath you so that you can rock back into the heels and see your big toes. And then go ahead and stand all the way up, reach the arms all the way up. Exhale, sweep the arms around behind, fold forward. Interlace the hands, let them fall towards the front of the room. Keeping this bind with the hands. So hands are bound behind you. Knuckles reach towards the sky. You're just going to sweep the hands down as you bend the knees, sit back into that chair pose. So like before, if you want to keep the hands on your butt, you can do that. Otherwise, you're going to start to reach them behind you and lift the heart. Maybe sitting back and down. And then go ahead and fold. Let those hands fall forward and then all the way to the mat. Inhale, half lift. Beautiful. Exhale, step back, left foot. Plant that foot down. Windmill all the way up and open into your warrior two. Right toes forward. Left foot back. We're only here for a moment. Flip the palm, reverse. Nice big heart over side body stretch. Coming into our Trikonasana, our triangle pose. Push that right leg straight. Hinge from the right hip. Right fingertips reach past the toes to the ankle. Left arm reaches up towards the sky. Just take a look. Even if it's not something you stay in, just look for a moment and make sure that your left hand is in line with your right hand. And then on your exhale, you're going to sweep that left arm down, square off the shoulders on the mat. Left hand comes next to the right foot. You might stay here, or you might reach the right arm out. Scoot that right hip underneath you, and then start to twist the right arm up towards the sky. If you have to, you can come up onto the toes of that back leg. This nice revolve. If you haven't already, sweep that heel up off the mat on that left leg. Go ahead and do so here. And then start to lower the left knee to the mat. Keep that left hand on the mat. You're going to bend the right knee to get down there. And then peel the right toes off the mat. Slide the right hand underneath the shoulder. So now we are in this half split with a twist. Ooh-wee, changes things. Perfect. Both hands come down to the mat. And then let's find our way all the way up and to turn to the left so that you're facing the long edge of your mat. And let's just find a forward fold here. Inhale, walk the hands underneath the shoulders. Turn the left toes to the back of the mat. The right toes find their way to about a 45-degree angle. Find your way to warrior two. So you can do that more gracefully than I did if you like. Inhale, reverse. Let's find our way to that triangle, that Trikonasana pose. Reach, hinge, sweep the right arm up and open. So bringing your attention to the underside, make sure you're not crunching into this. You want to have length there. That right arm is going to fold down next to the left foot. Square off the hips, and then maybe start to twist, taking that nice deep, deep twist. If you didn't peel that back heel already, go ahead and do that now. We're just going to lower down. Right knee comes to the mat, right hand slides back about ½ an inch, and then you're going to peel the left heel off the mat. Actually, on this one, I would benefit from a block underneath my right side. Just going to come up onto my fist there to have the space. Ooh-wee. Nice. Both hands come down. Let's find our way to that wide-legged straddle split one more time. So turn your toes slightly in. Walk your way to the, what is it, left edge of your mat, I think. And then either walking the hands underneath you, coming onto the elbows, or if you have more space, you can walk your hands to the back of the mat, fingers reach towards the back of the room, crown of the head comes to the mat. Inhale, hands come underneath you. And then we're just going to make our way to the mat. So I'm going to heel toe my feet in a little bit closer and then drop down onto my knees and all the way down onto the mat. So much like we did in the beginning of this class, we're going to find a forward fold, but this time with a Baddha Konasana. So the soles of the feet together, or bound angle or butterfly, whatever you'd like to call it. Let the knees splay out. If that doesn't feel good, you can always fold a pillow or a blanket underneath your knee. Inhale, find the length. Open up the heart here, and then start to hinge and fold forward. This pose is very restorative, so allow yourself to just melt down without worrying about holding the legs, holding the muscles. Using your hands to help you, coming back up. And then if you have a prop handy, I know I didn't tell you to bring any, we're coming down onto our back. You don't need the prop if you don't have it. I'm going to use a blanket along my spine. If you have a bolster or blocks, that works too. Blocks are kind of big, so a blanket or bolster. And then we're just going to pull the knees together, feet to the mat, toes point forward, and we're going to rock down over whatever your prop is. So the goal here is to just lift the spine off the mat and have the butt on the mat. So if you're doing this without the blanket, you would squeeze your elbows underneath you, underneath your shoulder, and prop your body up on your elbows, and then just start to let the head fall back. You can even anchor your fingers down by scooching them underneath your hips into a sort of modified fish. That's a little bit extreme for some people, so just sliding your spine onto a blanket or a pillow to just get a little bit of lift from the heart and let the shoulders start to fall down towards the mat. And keep the knees bent. Actually, I'm going to walk my feet a little bit further out and let the knees tuck in. Now, if you're propped up on your elbows and not on a prop, go ahead and lower yourself down to flat back on the mat. Draw your knees towards each other or towards the sky. And just settle in. If the knees folding in is beginning to create tension, you can walk your feet underneath you or even extend your legs long down the mat, keeping the heart just slightly above the hip, either on that bolster, the blanket, a block, a pillow, dog. From here, we're going to walk the knees in if they're not already. Start to draw your knees in, maybe scooping the hands underneath the crease in the knees. And then go ahead and rock yourself to a seat, whatever that seat looks like. Maybe it's a Sukhasana. Maybe you're in a double pigeon with the legs stacked on top of each other. We're going to finish our class here with a little bit of focus on the heart space. So bringing your right hand to the center of your chest, right above your heart, and then the left hand on top. Bowing your head in. Take a big in breath through the nose. Out breath through the nose. Start to count the beats of your heart in between the breath. So as you inhale, using your hands to help you feeling the heartbeat. Same thing with your exhale. Keeping your hands right where they are. Maybe your head is bowed slightly. Setting your intention for the rest of your day, whatever it is that you need from your practice to take with you throughout the rest of the day. This centering, this feeling of an open heart. Maybe it's the warmth of generating heat. What do you need to take from this practice for you to have the day that you want to have? Setting that intention in the form of an I am statement. I am centered. I am focused. I am facing the day with an open heart, whatever it might be. And then allowing the hands to either drop to your lap or maybe come to heart center, pressing palms together. Thank you for joining me on the mat today on this blustery winter day. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Namaste.